So today I want to show you how to take out old existing colour, especially when it's so vibrant. You know, you get those clients that have these like pinks, the blues, the greens, and I'm going to show you a real good tip how to get this out of the hair safely and leave in real good condition, and so you can start on a new like canvas basically. Now it depends on like your client, what they've got on the hair and everything like that. But my go-to tip now, because over the years like I've tried so many different techniques and stuff like that, but I find this one works really, really well. Now she's got green and then she's got dark shadows through those ends. So I just want to change the colour now. So I want to get her up a little bit lighter, trying to get her up to like a lived-in blonde. Now you might think that's going to be impossible because obviously green here and quite dark for here. But my go-to tip is, dun dun dun, we are now doing back-to-back foiling. So you can see that there's quite a lot of foils all in this one section. So I split the hair into 4 sections and I always do the back first because when the back is nearly ready, you can easily rinse it off at the back wash. So I do my first section, which I've previously done for the video just to show you before I start on this section. Now, there is a lot of foils in there. So my method is cleansing the hair. So like when I first started hairdressing, I would do like 1 scoop of shampoo, 1 scoop of water, 1 scoop of peroxide and 1 scoop of bleach. And I don't know if you used to do that. And then I would, you know, start on with the hair, clip it all up out the way, run it all the way through and keep doing that, keep doing that, keep doing that. And you're standing there for so long just doing this all the time on every bit of section of hair. Just sort of like keeping the heat in with your you know, with your hands and stuff like that. And like after a while your hands will start to like ache and stuff. So as the years gone by, you pick up loads of different tips, hence my education page, and I want to share this great tip with you. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to lift up amazingly. Every head of hair is going to be completely different, but I'm just showing you the technique to get even results so the hair is fully saturated evenly all the way through. So like obviously doing it years ago, obviously like rubbing it and stuff like that, but then you know you take a section and then really rubbing it, and then at the end you might think, oh my god, there's a bit of a spot there, there's a bit of a spot there, but I've really rubbed it, so why is that? And then you go back over it and stuff like that. But today I'm going to eliminate all that and I'm going to show you a great technique. Oh yeah, it's recording. I thought, oh my god, start speaking and it wasn't recording. But it is recording. So like I said, we've got our 4 sections. So we've got our 2 back sections and we've got 2 front sections. With all my colour work, I like to work at the back. That's just how I work. So what I'm going to do is take this section, make sure she's clipped in at the bar. Right, I'm going to spin her around. So another thing I'm going to show you today is take your section down, and we're not weaving, we're taking fine, I mean like really thin slices, like real thin slices of hair, okay? So you got something like that, so it's really fine. So before I'm going to show you that, I've got my bowl here. So in my bowl, I have got water. I have got 20 vols peroxide, and I have got Flash Lift Redken. So I'm using the Redken brand. So this is the 20 vols I'm using, 20 volume, and Flash Lift here. So I've got a fair bit of water in as well. So it's really glossy and it's really runny. Now that is the main key, is make sure your product is really wet, because you don't want the product to dry out in the hair. You want it to be on the hair, real wet, so it doesn't dry out. And now we are taking our fine slice. I'm using the balayage board. Now this is a Redken balayage board. I must admit, when they first come out, and I was like, why do you want to use a balayage board for? You know what I mean? But using it, it is amazing. I use it for everything now, like so for all my foiling, everything. And the reason being is when you put the foil over the balayage board, okay, and you place it onto the hair, you've got a real hard surface to really push that product through onto the hair. And you can really push that product so it's all saturated all the way through. Now, with this technique, you're taking really fine sections and really fine slices, and you want to go as close to the root as possible, okay? So that's our first section, and then we just fold once, okay? And then we just fold in our corners. Like so. And that is the first section. We're going to take down the next section, and again we're doing back to back real fine slicing, okay? No weaving, fine slicing, because the aim is obviously to cleanse out all the hair. So we're getting as close as possible to the root. Now you might think, are you going to put any of the cleanser on the root? And I'm not, because a lot of the colours now are with that root effect. So it's easy to sort of, you know, you're going to have a tiny little bit of colour like that left, and that's easily to eliminate. And a lot of my colours that I do now, I give them a root shadow, or a root stretch, or however you want to say it. So, and I mean, like, it's going to be like tiny like that, which is left of the green. So that is, I can easily eliminate that, not a problem. Obviously, you know, by all means, you know, if you wanted to put a cleanser on the root, you can, but I find these days, like, the colours that we do now are tending to be that lived-in look. So you have got that depth through the hair. And this is what I'll do. So each section, I sort of time myself, so I'm quite quick at foiling. It'll probably take me about half an hour to maybe, you know, 40 minutes to do each section. But the key is to make sure every bit of hair is saturated and your product is wet. So I've obviously done this section previously, so that has been on half an hour. And the thing is, what you want to do, you just want to time it and just keep looking at it as well. So we've got the cleanser, which is really low, so it's gonna take real slow in the hair anyway, so which is good to our benefit really, because obviously the time we take to do the whole head, the time you finish up, you know, doing the front, we come to the back and then it's like, yeah, that's a perfect colour. It depends on like what your client comes in with. So if your client has got, you know, jet black hair and they want to be like real blonde, that's going to be like impossible to do in like one session. That's just like a no-go. But what we can do, we can lift up that client to a nice, you know, level of, you know, of the hair. So you know, she's like a level 1. We probably get up to like a level 5, possibly like a 6. It depends if there's like overlap of colour previously on your client's hair. But what we want to do, we literally want to eliminate as much colour as possible. How I work it is like a canvas, so I try and get it that clean canvas as possible. You know, you're not going to get it, you know, at one go. So, you know, your client wants to go really blonde from being really dark. She ain't going to go really blonde in one session. You can get quite a nice like caramel colour in one session. So once we've done this technique, then what I'll do a colour mount. So I'll do a colour mount on the root and a colour mount all through those ends. So if we've lifted up that client to a nice 5, 6, we can get a real nice caramel colour, you know, going on. So it's going to be really good. But like I say, each client's going to be different. You're going to face, you know, different hair types, colour types and stuff like that. So, but today I'm just showing you my go-to technique on cleansing the hair. You might think, oh my god, it's going to take so long putting all those foils in. Yeah, it will take a lot longer than what you know used to if you do that technique before running your fingers through, you know, like I used to do years ago. But at the end of the day, you know, things change, the hairdressing world changes, and you know, we want to get that client closer to her goal as possible. And I think if we spend a little bit more time, you know, doing this for our clients, yeah, it's going to be a lot longer, but then you think at the end of it, the result is going to be amazing, like in one session with that client, and then that client's going to come back to you, you know, they're going to tell other clients, and it's just a way of just sort of building that relationship up with the client. And you know, they tell their family, they tell their friends, and yeah, I just think it's really good that we spend a little bit more time doing like more colour services, and spend a bit longer on each client. I know it's quite difficult, you know, when you've got a full packed column, but things change, you know, and I think it's time that, you know, if clients want this sort of thing, don't be scared to do it, because obviously the time that's going to take you, you know, you're going to have to charge for your time, but it's nice to try different things as well. And I just think, you know, like I say, the hair world's changing and we've got to evolve with what's going on as well. So yeah, so this is a nice little go-to tip on cleansing the client's hair, really. Like I said, this is, you know, green, dark on the ends, so it's not going to go super blonde in one session, but I find it really exciting doing new things, and yeah, it's being creative and just showing your creative side. You know, you're not going to get a client all the time that want this, but if you can do this sort of service, you'll get different clients coming to you and think, oh yeah, you know, he does that, she does that, I'm going to go to them, you know. So, and it just makes your day more exciting as well, doing different things. So yeah, that's me rabbling on. But yeah, what I'm doing is getting really close to the root as possible. Okay, because like I said, we want to eliminate as much colour as we can. When this is time to come off, what I might do, if need be, and you might find the same, is take all your foils out, like all out on one side, and then just for like the last 5-10 minutes is mix up a new batch of your cleanser and just run it through and just give it an extra boost. But I forgot to mention in like my colour tutorials, because obviously I haven't got it here, obviously I know they're like mannequin heads and that, and you know, I should think, oh yeah, I should put that on the hair, but these are just like my training blocks, and I'm just showing you as much as I can through lockdown. But any colour service that I do, I use Olaplex. I use Olaplex in everything, and you have to charge for the Olaplex. So I'll be back, this time's nearly up. Okay, so see you in a minute.